Last week I was talking to a friend and she was not very happy with her job. So she asked me, what is one thing that I can advise or tell her that would help her in a situation where she wasn't feeling happy. So something that was shared with me long time back was that whenever you are at a really bad point in life and want to make changes, whether it's your life or your career, you need to think about it in chunks, in silos, and then connect dots. So, what was told to me at that point was to look at different aspects of where I wanted to make change. The first time, I wasn't feeling really good about where I was physically. That would mean I wanted to change my physical location. So, I told her that I really want to change my career. And she asked me, what about your career? I said, I'm not happy. I just want to change my career. And she asked me, okay, do you not like the sector that you're working in? I said, no, I think I like the sector that I'm working in. She asked me, do you like the company that you're working for? I said, yeah, I think I like the company that I'm working for. She said that, do you like the boss that you're working for? I said, fairly yes. Then she asked me, does not look like just a career issue. Then what are you wanting to change? I said, I don't know. I'm not happy. I just know that I need to change something. Then she asked me, are you happy with the location that you are in? It was not the job. So it was the location that I was not happy with because I had to commute long hours. It was, I used to suffer from dust allergy. She asked me to think about my options, what I want to do next that might also govern not just my career but like the entire life. And I ended up changing not just cities, but I changed my country. And I think I applied that every time I made a change. So after that, I worked in a startup and it was a very toxic company. I did not have a very nice manager as well. So the combination made it very toxic. And that made me realize that I probably need to just change my company. And the other company was fairly good. Manager was really nice. So those were the problems that got fixed. And then I realized that the sector I was in had a threshold, had a certain limit which was making me stagnant after years of working in that company. At that time I realized time to go back to the drawing board and look at all the categories that I've drawn for myself and see what is not working and what is working. So I realized that I need to change the sector completely. That would mean I would need more skills, newer skills, maybe difficult ones, and then move to an industry which would probably help me in the longer run. And that's the switch that I made, which was, I feel, the hardest one because it put me in a loop of learning everything from scratch. I had to get that hat on of a beginner. I had to go through all that learning curve. I made that switch, but I was very clear with respect to why I did that. And I think that's why it's important to understand, if you want to make a change, why do you want to make a change? Because the path is not going to be easy. Every time I have to make a change, this framework has worked brilliantly for me. And I was validated when I had this conversation with my friend, when I told her that maybe when you say I want to change my career and I'm not happy with what I'm doing, just identify that thread and pull that one thread and you should be fine. It's not a very big risk to take. I asked her what is that's bugging her, and she realized it wasn't the manager, it wasn't the location, it even was not the sector or the company. It was just that she was feeling that people were not valuing her because of the skills that she had. She just had to figure out what is that one specific skill that she wanted to learn. How can she learn it with her current schedule without touching anything, without worrying about other things, and still be able to make some change in her career, also in her earning potential. Whenever you are thinking about changing your life or career, Just break it down into multiple categories that you know of. It does not have to be a framework from somebody else, it needs to be your framework, your categories. And then see what is something that you want to change right now, and what is something that you can probably change maybe after maybe second or third iteration.